Well, it's finally happening. Go woke, go broke can be applied to an entire industry. Japan has decided they can no longer trust human localizers in the West to translate for their media properties. No, it turns out that the latest generation of Hollywood wannabes cannot be trusted with anything. Rather, they take the Japanese language and insert their own propaganda. And now, well, they don't have a job. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel. Happy to have each and every one of you out there as we are diving into a story which many thought was wrapped up and done, but we found a new angle on this and we think you should pay close attention to it because we're going to show you how the damage can be done to an entire industry just by a party of one. Now, surely there are more than that who have destroyed the localization industry for Japan, but it seems like one person in particular really has thrown quite the baseball into the window when it comes to localization and handing this off to artificial intelligence. We're going to a Fox Business article, and folks, this one is a few days old, but we have some new insights. You do not want to miss this video. We're going to show you some new stuff here. The article comes from Fox Business. It's by Nicholas Lanham. AI replaces woke TV translators who inserted liberal language into Japanese art, sparking an online debate. Localizers have defended their creative liberties, which include scripts and mention patriarchy and, well, that other word. Now, notice that what they're doing here is they are attempting to sneak in their own propaganda into non-propagandized Japanese material. And the Japanese companies are deciding it's better to go with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is apparently better and less woke than these wokesters. Western television and anime localizers have recently come under fire for injecting woke language into English dubs not present in the original work, prompting some companies to implement artificial intelligence as a way of limiting human intervention or to remove them entirely. What a place we live in that we're having to go to artificial intelligence because the humans are simply too, what's the word here? Frivolous with the truth. The use of AI in the industry is already well underway. On December 21st, the official X account for the ancient Magus Bride manga announced it would soon return with a simultaneous internal release in English using AI translation created by the Japanese company Mantra. In addition, Funimation, an American subscription video on-demand service for anime, recently merged with the Sony Group Corporation-owned streaming service Crunchyroll. The company has indicated it will use a hybrid AI localization system with humans reviewing and editing the results. And of course, all of this is because these people who are supposed to be translating these items, they cannot stop inserting their own personal beliefs, their own personal agendas, their own personal propaganda into these products. They are absolutely saboteurs, 100% saboteurs. Now let's go to someone on here in this article who is cited, because this is going to really open your eyes, I think. Recently, Katrina Leonoudakis, I don't know, a professional translator and localization expert, I'm going to question that, by the way, who previously worked for Sega and Funimation, called the adoption of AI and localization embarrassing and disappointing. Now, of course, she's going to say that because she wants to be paid to continue to do this. But what is it she wants to be paid to do? We'll show you in just a moment. Instead of paying a human to do a quality job, they're using AI to get a mediocre product for free. I don't see how that's true. They're paying for the services. They're paying for the software. They're paying for the electricity. Simply can't be true, I don't think. It says, is this how little they think of English-speaking audiences? No. This is how little they think of you. Of translation. For shame, she said. For shame. Leonoudakis also claimed that machine translation is not yet smart enough to handle television or movies and suggested that audio-visual translators are already criminally underpaid. Now look at these down here. Employees in the field can expect to make anywhere between $20,000 and $100,000. However, as is the case with many entertainment jobs, the number of positions is limited. Now, and then of course there's this statement down here, it's not even mistranslations, it's blatantly changing it to something that wasn't there in the first place. But now who is this person that's being cited in the Fox article? Well, let's go to EuroGamer. Ex-Sega developer highlights lack of credit for translators. And this says a former Sega localization specialist, by the way, this is by Tom Phillips, back in January of 2023, a year ago. A former Sega localization specialist has criticized the lack of credit for French, Italian, German, and Spanish language translators in Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden, which launched for PC and modern platforms this week. Katrina Leonoudakis worked on the games at Sega until her departure from the company, and said she had urged the publisher to ensure the game's translation team made it into the game's credits. I am absolutely outraged. I was the localization coordinator on the project up until I left Sega, constantly in connection with the FIGS team. Leonoudakis wrote on Twitter last night, I told the team who took over for me to credit the FIGS team. They worked incredibly hard to localize 2 games. Unbelievable. For shame, you guys. She really is good at saying for shame. Very good at this. And of course, we go to the Twitter account for Katrina Leonoudakis. You can see Aegis CWI ally. The world is better when we watch and play together. You get the idea. But here's really where the rubber hits the road for this story. This is why you should care. Going to February 7th of 2023, out of Bounding into Comics, Western localizer brags about deliberately botching English subtitles for My Life as Unake-san's Dog. Let me say it again. Western localizer brags about deliberately, purposefully botching subtitles. Wonder who that could be. I bet you see the foreshadowing on the wall. 2023 has been off to a stormy start for the Western anime industry, as not only are cases of botched localizations continuing to rise, but now the localizers responsible for these messes are becoming so emboldened as to brag about their intentional mistranslations on social media. One recent victim of these self-important localizers is the anime adaptation of My Life as Unake-san's Dog. Based on the ecchi rom-com manga by Itsutsuse, the series follows the hijinks of an unnamed protagonist, a high school boy who one day finds himself waking up as Pochita, the pet Aikta Inu dog of his crush, the titular Karen Unake. Folks, apologies, I don't speak Japanese, so when I miss these, just know that we'll be adopting AI soon to help out with this. On January 13th, I kid, maybe not. On January 13th, Twitter user Bad Anime TLs took notice of some very questionable translations present in Sentai Filmworks English language subtitles to the series' second episode, Walkies. In a scene wherein the protagonist is thwarted in his attempts to return to his actual home due to being leashed up by Karen, that's perfect. Bad Anime observed that the English subtitles read, sure, I had to relieve myself outside, but what was I going to do? She had me on a leash. However, according to them, a more accurate translation of the original Japanese would have been more akin to, I managed to get outside, but she had me on a leash, so I couldn't do anything. Now, that's just the beginning of how these shows were being subverted. It keeps going through various examples of this. Finally, we get to this, though. While the identity of the culprit behind these mistranslations was initially unknown, on January 16th, notorious professional anime, manga, and video game localizer Katrina Leonoudakis, who many may remember as having made herself the central defender of Seven Seas Entertainment's changing the feminine male Hyurai Mihate to a transgender female in their English localization of Think I Turned My Childhood Friend into a Girl, confessed to the botched subtitles. I'm not sorry for what I did to Inukai or Inuke 3, she tweeted. Again, apologies, folks. I'm not sorry for what I did. Now let's go back to the title again. Western localizer brags about deliberately botching the English subtitles for My Life as Unake-san's Dog. Come back down here again. Who is it? Katrina Leonoudakis. Wait a minute. What this means then is that if we go back to the Fox article, okay, and if we go to Katrina Leonoudakis recently, Katrina Leonoudakis, a professional translator and localization expert, who previously worked for Sega and Funimation, called the adoption of AI and localization embarrassing and disappointing. Goes on to talk about this. This same Katrina Leonoudakis, who gives advice on a regular basis in these tweets, right? Hi, I'm Katrina, a professional translator and localization expert. Retweets all of these ways that you can better yourself if you're one of these localization people. Other coordinators, producers can chime in, but this salary seems low for the level of responsibility and experience they're asking for, especially in New York City. I'd ask for at least $65,000 or more. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Folks, look at this back on the Fox article. What's the title? AI replaces woke translators who inserted liberal language in Japanese art, sparking online debate. Remember the Bounding into Comics article? This same woman who's on here deriding this decision, she seems to be the one who caused it. Folks, what I'm here to tell you is it looks to me like Katrina Leonoudakis, if the Bounding into Comics article is correct, if this article is correct, it looks like she is part of the reason, maybe a huge part of the reason, that so many of these localizers just lost their jobs to AI. Wow. Now, how's that for an angle that perhaps you had not seen before? The very same person in the article may have been the very one who killed the industry. In particular, YouTube star Asmongold, who has over 2 million subscribers, slammed localizers for concerns over translation integrity amid the AI debacle, noting they had previously defended inaccurate translations in the name of artistic creativity. They insert woke stuff. They alter the meaning of things to fit with agendas. Well, then they're not localizers. They're just liars, right? He said. Goes back to talk about my life as Inaki-san's dog. Goes on to talk about Leonoudakis. Leonoudakis, folks, seems to be the instigator here of destroying the industry. These wokesters killed the industry, and now they're mad that AI is more trusted than humans. This is what happens when woke gets into an industry. There's been a question I've seen on my channel. People asking, is there any example of woke actually going completely, totally broke? Like, has there ever been a case when it's not just damage, but truly broke? You're looking at it. The localizers. Their entire profession now being replaced by artificial intelligence, largely. And why? Because of lies, because of deceit, because of sneaking in agendas and personal propaganda, bragging about it, and then complaining. Complaining as you are the champion in front of all of this movement, complaining as you watch not only your loss of career, but the loss of so many careers that seems to have come from you and the movement you did. This is woke when it goes broke. This is the end of careers, the end of an industry due to wokeism. I have a feeling it won't be the last. Folks, that's the video for today. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe. When you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, be truthful, and keep having fun.
This is Wilton the Troll reporting for That's Park Place, and I'm surrounded by loving and adoring people who are peacefully trying to make sure that poor kids aren't cold in the winter. And just behind me, you can see a totally natural bonfire for baking cookies or making marshmallows.
Yeah, so, Wilson, we really appreciate the effort and stuff, but we're looking for real and, accurate news reporting on that Park Place.
So not like most news outlets, huh?
No.